This is WFYI News Now. It's February 14th, and I'm Abriana Herron. On today's show, a Haitian community leader reacts to President Donald Trump's executive order around immigration. The Indiana Republican Party has a new chair, and a legislative effort involving special education classrooms and seclusion rooms fizzled out this week.
Some kids are in these seclusion rooms for hours.
Those stories coming up. But first, the Indianapolis group GANGGANG says it's generated over $13 million in revenue and invested nearly $8 million into the local economy. The group presented its findings at the inaugural State of the Culture event. It used videos, music, and photographs to highlight its impact on the creative economy. Molly Bacon is a co-founder and creative director with GANGGANG. She says the group will continue to shape Indianapolis's cultural framework.
Cities rely on culture, and so it requires and it deserves infrastructure.
GANGGANG hosted several events last year, including a pop-up exhibit during NBA All-Star Weekend and a rock music festival. The Butterfine Arts Fair, the group's most notable event, has sold over $900,000 in artists' work over the past 4 years. Within his first few weeks, President Donald Trump signed several executive orders around immigration and increased deportation efforts. WFYI's Samantha Horton reports how one Haitian community leader sees it affecting those in Indiana.
Families and individuals are in the U.S. on a variety of immigration programs, including temporary protection status, given to people from countries deemed unsafe because of armed conflict, environmental disaster, or extraordinary conditions. Earlier this month, the Trump administration announced it would not extend the temporary protection status for Venezuela, leaving uncertainty that other countries could lose status in the future. Haitian Association of Indiana Executive Director Léonce Jean-Baptiste says the volatility in immigration policy has created unease in the Haitian community.
So the fear is palpable, and people are, they are expressing that, either by not sending their kids to school or not going to work themselves.
Indiana is home to more than 12,000 Haitians, according to the American Community Survey. I'm Samantha Horton.
The Indiana Republican Party has a new chair. Lana Keesling was unanimously elected to the position by the party's state committee on Thursday. Keesling is the city clerk of Fort Wayne, becoming the first Republican to hold that role for decades. She has also served in leadership positions in the GOP, including vice chair of the Allen County Republican Party and treasurer of the 3rd District Republican Congressional Committee. Governor Mike Braun announced last week his endorsement of Keesling to head the party, and in a statement Thursday, Braun called her a leader who understands commitment, service, and hard work. Keesling says her first priority will be to listen and represent the entire state and emphasized her commitment to grow the party. And for our final story today, a legislative effort that would have required Indiana schools install cameras in special education classrooms and seclusion rooms fizzled out this week. From WFYI's Education Desk, Lee Gaines has more.
Republican Representative Becky Cash says the camera requirement was inspired by a WFYI investigation that found some Indiana schools aren't reporting how often they restrain and seclude kids. Cash says the purpose of the cameras is to protect children, especially those with disabilities.
Some kids are in these seclusion rooms for hours. So the goal is to put recordings in there. There's no adult in these rooms. They're locked in these rooms. So we just want cameras in there.
But organizations who represent schools told lawmakers they can't afford to pay for cameras. Cash ultimately stripped the requirement from the bill because she said there wasn't time to get grant money for the cameras into the state budget. I'm Lee Gaines.
That's all for today's episode of WFYI News Now. Our podcast is produced by Drew Daudelin and Zach Bundy, with support from the news team at WFYI and public media journalists across the state. Our news director is Sarah Neal-Estes. Kendall Antron produced our music, and I'm your host, Abriana Herron. If you like today's episode, remember to subscribe and share, and follow WFYI on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube to check in on our newsroom throughout the day. Thanks for listening. We'll be back on Monday.